Hey guys, Jeffrey from Headstrong Training Systems here. So today we're going to be taking a look at the deadlift, and in particular we're going to be examining the concept of how we can ensure that we maintain stability at all times during the setup of the deadlift. So what that enables us to do is that from our starting position, we can be put into an optimal position to perform the movement straight away, and we can eliminate the occurrence of variables trying to shift us and push us out of position. So this is just going to be a quick video, but basically the cue that I want you guys to be focusing on is feeling your midfoot and loading into the midfoot and keeping constant tension there. So when you go to set up for the deadlift, what you want to do is firstly to rock forwards and backwards. Rock forward and rock backwards. And what you'll find is that when you go to a rock forward, you'll feel that all the pressure will go onto your toes and that your heels will come off the ground. And vice versa is true as well. When you go to rock backwards, all that pressure is now going to go onto your heel, so the back of your foot, and so those toes are going to come off the ground. Now you're going to rock around until you feel the point where you feel stable and you feel that it is pretty much the center of your foot, because essentially the idea of when we perform the deadlift movement is we are trying to move our body around our center of mass. We're trying to move and shift our limbs, our hips, our torso. We're trying to shift it around so that this barbell, where the heaviest resistance is in line and is placed across the middle of the biggest part of our base of support, which is where our center of mass is, and where that happens to be is also where our midfoot is. So when you go to feel your midfoot, you want to then keep constant tension over your midfoot. As you hinge, as you perform the movement, you want to essentially keep tension at all times. And how do we do that? Essentially, the biggest thing is you want to firstly feel the tension, and you want to anchor that point there. So that you see that when I go to hinge, what happens commonly is that pressure is shifted backwards. And so you see, what I mean by that is when I go to push the hips back, my legs, my shins come with me, and my knees also go back. And what happens is, if I don't root my knees in and leave my midfoot locked in, you'll see that my toes will come off the ground because pressure has been shifted backwards, like so. So that's a case where I've gone to hinge and pressure has been shifted, force has been shifted backwards because I haven't rooted down my knees and my shin angle and my feet. So when you feel that midfoot, you're going to want to leave the knees unlocked just slightly. So leaving the knees unlocked, that will allow you, what that's going to do is going to allow you to maintain your shin angle. It's going to maintain your knees and maintain pressure on that midfoot whilst pushing the hips back. So you're disconnecting, you're separating the hips from the feet, and you're separating the two body parts. So you're leaving the knees, the shin and the midfoot locked in, whilst you're pushing the hips back. You're not moving the whole unit together, you're disjoining the parts. So in action, midfoot locked in, knee angle locked in, shin locked in, and pushing the hips back, but this is all being maintained. So constant pressure is still being driven down into my midfoot. In this position, I'm still feeling constant tension in my midfoot, and so as you then hinge now, you're going to want to continue to load into that midfoot. You're not going to want to shift away and take pressure off. You don't want to shift forward. You want to keep loading into that midfoot until you get to the bottom position. And so what you'll find is that in this bottom position, to know that you've done it correctly, in this bottom position, you'll be able to pretty much slack off and go straight away, because you've put yourself into a position where you feel constant tension because you've been continuously loading into the midfoot correctly and optimally from the start of the move, and you don't have to actually maneuver yourself and fiddle around in order to get to that midfoot and feel that center of mass. So that's all from me today, guys. The biggest takeaway is basically I want you guys to focus on is disjoining the body. As you've locked in the midfoot, you've locked in your center of mass, keep that locked in. Don't shift that center of mass, and don't shift that force backwards as you go to hinge. Leave the knees and midfoot locked in, and remove the hips away when you go to hinge. So you're moving your body around your center of mass rather than moving your whole center of mass. So that's all from me today, guys. Hopefully that was helpful for you, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.